Welcome back to the Super Tuesday recap. It is Chris and Deepam here. You guys know what the time it is. Time to talk Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 20. Farewell, Cruel World. The clock is ticking for Daisy Simmons to get the team out of the framework, but not everyone is ready and willing to leave. All right, so I made a mistake. It's a mistake I should never make, but it always happens. We had a screener last night. I'm going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Hilarious movie. Review will be up hopefully tomorrow. It's going to be, it's fucking absolutely hilarious. It's great. But I came back home, got home at 10. Now, everybody knows Flash comes on at 8, so I missed the Flash. Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. is on right at this time. I knew that they were going to reveal who Savitar was in the Flash, so I knew I should watch that first. I didn't. I hopped on the DVR and started playing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's a big mistake. Because, listen, I like The Flash. We just did an episode. We defend this episode of The Flash. We were like, hey, it's not that bad. And even, we're going to talk some people off the ledge. But, nigga. What are we supposed to do, man?
Game cheating, I would tell you, dog. I'm pausing this shit so someone can be controlled at work.
Dude, this is just not a fair fucking show.
I don't know why people even click on this podcast. Like, honestly, I will listen to this shit because I have nothing to tell you besides the fuck did I just watch? You know what I said? Like, hold on, I'm a little curious now. I'm people tweet at me at dpalm66. What do you want from us? On this show particularly, we can discuss The Flash, we can discuss Arrow, Legends, ups and downs, highs and lows, things that happen. This is like trying to review a roller coaster. It's like, well, it was fast, and I was scared. But I screamed a lot, and it all worked out in the end. I'm back in line because it was too much fun. I'll be back to ride it again. But a review of a roller coaster, man, it was fun. What do you say? Like, it's like trying to review a force of nature.
Yo, I feel like Charlie from Always Sunny. It's Always Sunny trying to explain some shit, but I'm really excitable. And so I'm not making any fucking sense.
Bird law.
Like, right?
I'm big on bird law.
I just, like, I don't, you're right. I don't go back and re-listen to these reviews because I still can't believe so many people do because I'm like, what do we sound like?
I remember you said last week, like, I don't remember what I said. I black out for an hour every week and just nerd out about the show.
We said this last week, that this show answers questions for us before, or gives us, and anticipates what we need, or right when we're about to ask a question, like, hey, I wonder what's going on with here, they show us. So this episode, last week, I believe we even asked, like, yo, how long have they been in the framework? This episode starts with 10 days ago. You're just like, son of a bitch.
Honestly, what do you want from us?
I'm like, so are you guys reading our fucking minds? Like, how do you, like, and again, they had already, like, it's incredible how they have written this show. Like, shout out, I'm so glad the Writers Guild is, got paid and got the contract they need, because just off of this show alone, pay them their fucking money. Give them the benefits. Because like I said, this show is almost on some Minority Report shit where they predict what you're going to ask and what you need to see before you even know. Like, you ask the questions like, oh, just hold on, we got you for that one. So you start this off with, hey, I wonder what's happening in the real world. And we start off 10 days on the Zephyr that with Daisy and Simmons going in. And then you see what they've been dealing with. The fact that they're running out of power because they've been running the Zephyr nonstop with a cloaking device. Talbot's been trying to reach him. They don't know who they can trust. And it's literally just this one group, on the Zephyr. Like, that is an incredible, like, I didn't know I needed that. Like, that's, I need to know what's going on. And this way, you give us enough information on what this small group, by the way, this group of agents that they introduced us to last season. You know, that was the group that the special unit that May had been training. You have this group working together, and you're like, damn, they've been going through some shit themselves. And in that short couple minutes, you've gotten us caught up with what's been happening outside the framework. Didn't take a lot, didn't waste a lot of time doing it, but you've told us what's going on with them. You gave us a sense of urgency that, because again, last week I didn't bring it up then, but I was asking myself, I'm like, well, Anton says that they know they're on the Zephyr, but the Zephyr is close, so how the fuck are they going to shoot it down? That doesn't make no fucking sense. Motherfucker, you're not going to be able to find it. No problem there. Oh, they're running the framework and to keep Daisy and Gemma in, so they're running out of power, and they don't know who they can trust, so they can't land to refuel. So all of a sudden, you've upped the ante on what's going on here.
You've created a double ticking clock.
Yep. So simple, so elegant, and so simple, and it makes sense. It makes sense.
I'm still wondering. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna talk about the episode clearly, but like, the fuck, man.
Oh man. So, other thing I have in my notes here, I admit, like, if there's one, I'm gonna listen as a negative, because if they don't bring them back, if somehow they don't bring them back next season, it's a double fucking negative. You can't make me miss. You can't bring back Tripp even if he just bits of code and make me miss him again. Like, bruh, this episode makes me realize how much we miss Tripp. Like, we always say I miss Tripp, but nigga, I really miss Tripp.
I don't even miss Tripp that much. Honestly, to be real with it, I don't miss Tripp that much.
You don't miss me? Oh,
I don't miss him that much, but I'll tell you what, it was nice. It was so good to see him.
Like, just
it was good to see him.
BJ Britton, because it's exactly it reminded me so much of what Tripp used to do and how Tripp was. He was always just so laid back with everything and just went with the flow, you know? Like when Daisy comes up and says, just so happy to see him and hugs him, and he just goes, "Hey, okay, woman, I don't know, but I'll take the hug." Like,
which is the appropriate reaction.
Right. And I love the conversation about, so you and me, we probably dated? Sure, let's go with that. No.
Call it what you want.
Right. No. Well, me and Gemma? No. Agent May? Like, I love how he went down the list. It's just like, wait, and this is the place you want to go back to? Like, none of y'all were with me? Like,
it sounds like hell.
I love that. I love that he was just so down for everything. Like, when Gemma told him, it was like, no, I believe you. Okay, let's go with it. When he was talking to Daisy about it, all right, cool, let's do it. Like, but it made me remember back to when, Tripp was around. That was Tripp. He was always down for the cause. Okay, we need to do this. All right, cool, I'm down. Let's do it. All right, this is how it works. This is how it goes down. Okay. Like, it was just it was always Tripp, and so, oh man, it was just good to see him. Even down to when they're at the end and Daisy's talking to him, she's like, "Well, you could be the Patriot." I'm like, "Oh, so we're gonna have the basically black Captain America?" I see what you're doing there. Okay. All right.
That was a wink and nod, wasn't it?
All right. So Black Captain America's gonna stay back and take on the Nazis. Okay. All right. Not too bad there, Marvel. Not too bad there. I see what you're doing there. Not bad at all. But yeah. So I think this is a question we asked ourselves like a few episodes ago when they got in the framework. And we're asking why did Ada need Fitz? And we like it really if you didn't know last week, it really becomes clear this week, because Ada couldn't build this machine herself, because then that is direct violation of her programming. But she can get Fitz to build it to build it in the framework for her, and then have Anton put the thing together herself. But she can't do it herself because that would make her a direct threat to the framework. So she's found a way around that. That program, and at one point, Radcliffe even says to himself, he goes, "Oh man, she's always finding a way around her programming," which is what murderous robots do. Which is why you don't create robots. I'm looking at you, company that's making sex robots with AI in them. What the fuck? What the fuck are you thinking? It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. This is actually happening in real life. Stay tuned for the Insanity Check this weekend. We'll talk about it, but I can't fucking believe this shit is actually happening. But anyway, but I love it. I mean, again, but that goes back to the attention to detail that this show has. That, we were just talking on The Flash about how there's a small thing with Cisco with all of a sudden him being afraid of using his powers. And we're just like, well, that doesn't jive with things we've seen him doing and what they've been doing with this season. Kind of feels like you're just putting that in there now because you need it for the plot. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't do that. Like, if you notice something that's inconsistent, it is there on purpose, and the writers have caught it and are going to explain it later. So this entire time I was going, hey, why didn't she just kill them? Oh, well, she can't do that because it's a direct violation of her programming. Why can't she just create the machine herself? Why does she need Fitz to do it? Does he have some special knowledge she doesn't have? Well, no, she doesn't, but she can make him create it for her and use the project and then go from there. Like, that's
why she made him love her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is such a, there's a level of attention to detail to Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. that this is something that, and I'll say that, like, this is not normal for TV shows. I mean, we've seen it with each of the CW shows we've enjoyed. Like, I guess Legend of Tomorrow needs at least one more, and Supergirl need at least one or two more seasons before we can actually make this thing. But you've seen it with The Flash, you've seen it with Arrow before, you've seen it with other shows. Like, there was Lost, and there's a bunch of these shows out there that they start strong, they have some dips here and there, and then they come back and there's ebbs and flows. Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. gets stronger every season. They get tighter every season. Like, they're like this season, the last ever since halfway through season 1, they haven't let their foot off of the gas. And this season has just been so incredible. Like, the magic they've been working on putting these things together, because there's just this attention to detail that is just great, and they never miss an opportunity to do these things. Like, with what's going on with Mack in this episode, it made perfect sense to now make this the episode to show what's going on the Zephyr, because Yo-Yo's there. Like, is that kind of structure to how they put these things together that they nail it. they fucking nail it. Let's see. Gemma going after Fitz's dad. When she realizes that his father's alive. Again, seems reckless, but Gemma's been kind of reckless, so we'll let that one slide. But what I took it from it, everything that happened there, what really got me is when she got back to the base and she's freaking out over the fact that she killed his dad. Because remember,
she's shaking.
Right. Because remember, when Gemma crawls herself out of that grave, Gemma is the one going, oh, you guys are interested in bytes of code. Oh, you're just bytes of code. It's just code. Just code. Oh, who cares? They're not real. They're not like when she got on Coulson by handing out blankets. They're not real. But we've slowly watched as things become real. You know, I think it was last episode when Ward was talking to her about, you know, Mack's daughter being real. Mm-hmm. You know, and I love how, and we'll get into this later. Love how that conversation, it was not had with Mack, but Ward has that conversation with Gemma, but it's really aimed at us, the audience, to set us up for what they're going to do with Mack this episode with his daughter. You know,
I'm sorry about that, y'all. I didn't mean to.
I think we all had to know, right? We all had to know.
I caught some blame D palms last night.
Oh, okay. Well, no. I'll always go with blame D palms. Hey,
wait a second. You were just on my side. It just happened.
Well, no. I mean, I knew it was going to happen too, but I wasn't fool enough to say it. Just saying. I mean, come on, everybody knew Mack was going to turn that fucking shit down the first time. I mean, come on now. It's like
the first time. No, that was the. Okay.
Well, we'll talk. We'll get into that. But yeah. So I think the subtle moments of seeing, and it's funny because when you start off in here, it's Daisy that's having trouble, you know, separating real from not real and not just completely separating her emotions from all this stuff. But by the time she gets to the end, she's like, hey, listen, guys, this is not real. We got to get the fuck out of here. Let's, you know, part the Red Sea, use the Bible quotes, jump in there, let the fuck out of here. But it's Gemma that's starting to realize that it's a lot more complicated than she presented it as, you know? And, you know, it's her trying to get to Fitz, but at the same time, it's a lot of stuff that's been going on here. And, man, that scene with Fitz shot. Yo, what's with Fitz and Simmons taking each other out, yo? Fitz shot her in the knee. She stabbed LMD Fitz. Like it's gonna be a lot of things to work out in that relationship, guys. A lot of things to work out in that relationship.
What relationship? That shit is over. This or not, she shot his father. And the thing is, we'll talk about the whole episode in a second. But what I realized when they got out is now they have the memories of two different lives.
Oh yeah.
Like it wasn't like I vaguely remember. Didn't I do something bad? No. Coulson remembers not choosing S.H.I.E.L.D. He remembers teaching high school kids. Mm-hmm. Fitz remembers.
Yeah.
Everything he did.
And again, this is something that we
asked about last week.
We asked about this. Wasn't just last week. We've been asking about this when we got in. It was like, Fitz is gonna have to. There can be some consequences from what they do in this. It's not real, but it's real, right? Like, Fitz is freaking the fuck out, and I loved it. I was like, that's a real reaction because he realizes that it wasn't all just bits of code. He killed Agnes. He killed. He ordered the strike that took out Mace.
I'll say it. He killed Mace.
He killed Mace. Well, so did May. So there's that.
Yeah, but May
was just following orders.
May was just there. May watched him die. She didn't kill him.
I was just following orders. May's gonna hit Fitz with the I was just following orders, and I'm gonna laugh so hard.
He's the devil, man.
I mean, look, Fitz. I mean, I get it that I had some hand in this too, but I was just following your orders, and had I not done it, you would have killed me too. So there's that.
But the thing, May didn't kill. I'm gonna stand by that. May did not kill Mace. She just happened to be there when he died.
Well, no, she ordered the. He gave her permission to use the airstrike. She asked to use the air. She asked to how she could bring it down, and there's a lot of hands. I'll put it this way: there were a lot of hands involved in that. It was May, Fitz, and Ophelia all had hands in that. But yeah. But I love that.
It all happened a lot faster than I thought it would.
You said what now?
It all happened a lot faster than I thought it would.
What did?
The whole thing going to shit.
Oh, them getting out of the framework?
Man.
Yeah, but again, I mean, when you think about the way they structured
this show doesn't fuck around. It's never fucked around.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like the way they structured their seasons and the way they structure their episodes. And I think the reason why we feel like it's happened so fast is because they made that world so interesting. I could stay there for like 2-3 more episodes, right?
For sure.
I could definitely do that. But the way this show did it and the way the show handled it, it made sense that everything went as fast as it did and worked out the way it did. Like it fits for the show, but they like I said, they could have made the Ghost Rider part of this season stretch out 2-3 more episodes. But it all fits as part of the plan, you know, and fits together and works together, and it is just great. Let's see. Let's go back to talking about. Well, let's finish the Simmons and Fitz thing because it involves Radcliffe. I love that Radcliffe was the one. Radcliffe was just fed the fuck up.
Fed the entire fuck up.
Mm-hmm. Like Radcliffe basically was on some. All right, I've heard enough. I'm tired of this shit. He put it this way. Radcliffe was acting like the father that Fitz actually needed at that point, if you think about it.
Which is how he's always viewed Fitz.
Yes. And you're just like, yo, you know what? Seen enough. I had to get you here so we can get you home to where you need to be at. I am not about to sit here and watch you kill the woman that loves you and that you love in the real world. So I'm tired of him. Like the way he hit him with the butt of the gun. It's just like, nope. It's like the dark hole.
It also makes you realize that the reason Radcliffe even brought him there because he knew Jim would be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the whole thing was a slow play by him.
Mm-hmm. And but again, this only goes back to when we realized that during the LMD portion of the show, we were like, oh man, Radcliffe is evil. He's really the bad guy. We were like, but he's not really the bad guy.
Yeah, we were like, he was always well intentioned. Yeah,
and so this, what Radcliffe does in this episode brings it back to tie us into that second part of the second arc of the show this season, and us going, well, he's right. He says it himself. He's like, the dark hole corrupted my mind. Please don't blame yourself. Talking to Fitz, it's all my fault. And he's right. It is all his fault.
Yep.
And the dark hole did corrupt his mind. And you can see that, again, going back to his whole thing, Radcliffe's had the best intentions. And again, the road to hell is paved with good intention. Yes, we know. But he never was doing this out of malice. He was never doing this out of some, I want to control the world or I want to, kill the people. It was always to help people. And here he is saying, I have to take the step, stand up, and I have to save, the son I never had, and get him to where he needs to be at. And I'm gonna do that. And it was a great moment, and it gives you a really great arc. If you go all the way back to last season,
yeah,
Radcliffe's arc is amazing.
It's a really good, really well told redemptive arc.
Exactly. It gives you everything you need. Because I remember when Ada slit his wrist, we were just like, oh man, dude, you had this shit coming, you fucking idiot. And yes, but at the same time, gotta remember, everything he did to, even the fact that he was using he had Ada read the Darkhold.
Yep.
And he had read a little bit of the Darkhold himself. It's like, it was all to save people. And yeah, man, that was a great arc. I mean, there have been some great redemptive arcs in here, like what they did with Ward. It's not the real Ward, but we still got a great redemptive arc with Ward. I know a lot of people, we talk about, hey, we can bring a Ward and we can bring Tripp back. But here's the thing: if we don't bring both of those characters back,
this was a better goodbye.
We had a great goodbye for Tripp. And I think that was the biggest problem with losing Tripp the way we lost Tripp. We never really got to say goodbye, right? It felt like they cut us off too short. And I'm not saying that as it being bad writing, because it hit us hard. you know,
It did what it was supposed to do.
And it did what it was supposed to do. But here we finally got a way of getting to say goodbye to Tripp the way you want to say goodbye to Tripp. We got a way to redeem Ward and get the goodness in Ward without undoing all the bad things he's done, you know? And that is an amazing writing. That's an amazing story. That is great. We got this redemptive arc with Radcliffe. Like that is so. And if you think about it, you got redemptive arcs for Radcliffe and Ward, who both were at their most villainous, to tell you the truth, last season. Because Radcliffe had decided to make, you know, Inhuman whatever the fuck, like hybrids for Hive, and was doing all kind of crazy shit. And Ward was Hive, you know, and using Ward's memories and stuff like that. So you got a good goodbye and redemptive arc for both of those characters in the next season, and the way they did it was totally unexpected and just fucking great. So I love that. Coulson and May.
They kind of got out the cleanest.
They did so far. So far.
But it also gave them a chance to like explore that, you know, the will they won't they type thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, I've now found Coulson's other thing, jumping through portals. Portals are his thing. That is what he does.
Like, everyone needs a thing, Chris. Everyone needs that one defining characteristic.
Hey, man, like that's his thing, man. We found out what it is. We found out what it is, man. Oh shit! Before I get into that, it just made me thinking of portals. Fitz jumped through one to save Gemma. This is Gemma literally kind of in a way jumping through one to save Fitz. So
yeah,
interesting how that works out. But no, I love the that moment with Coulson and May when he's talking to her about taking a leap of faith. And what's so funny is that part of that moment is definitely, you know, just going with what's in front of us, talking about jumping through the portal to get to the real world. But it also is kind of talking about their relationship in real life. You know, taking that leap of faith and taking that leap to, you know, to have that relationship with each other, you know? So, and it kind of goes, again, it goes back to when we saw those flashbacks where they would, you know, when him and May would joke about when they were both, when they were talking about maybe dating, and she was like, well, I got a date with this psychologist, and maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe, and they were kind of joking about it, but both of them were basically, you know, too scared to take that leap of faith to try dating, even though they were a good match. And here we are, you know, and, you know, Coulson swan dives into the backward swan dives into the portal, and he's basically hoping that May follows him, takes that leap of faith with her. And again, early in the episode, she's talking about I need to, you know, I can't just be told, I got to be shown, I need to know, and not wanting just to blind follow somebody in. But then she blind follows Coulson back into the real world. Like the more I think about it, the more this writing is just fucking incredible.
It's so tight and brilliant and perfect and holy shit.
Like
the writers.
Like the more you think about it and you connect it to earlier things that happened in the season, things that happened in seasons before, like it is just so incredibly tight. Like, oh man, like it is such an incredible job they've done here, and made such an incredible season. Like I know somebody on my wall, I posted the image of the Inhumans of the Inhumans poster, and somebody was like, I don't know, it's on ABC. I was like, listen, are you watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? If you're watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and if they write Inhumans half as good as they're writing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we ain't got nothing to worry about. We ain't got a goddamn thing to worry about. All right, I'm trying to save the Mack thing. I love the fact that again, small details. Ada couldn't completely get rid of the way out of the framework, but she could change it. She could alter. Instead of it being a fountain, she can turn it into a molten pit of of metal. And
There are worse hiding places.
right. I mean, listen. I mean, I can conceal it. I can't completely destroy it from you because it's just not within my programming. But I can conceal it, and she did everything she could. And I love that Daisy used the Bible verse against Mack. Pardon the Red Sea.
Yo, that was are you using the Bible against me? That was good. Strong work.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing was the scene, the moments leading up to everyone jumping were all so well done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So good. So good. And then the Mac. Like I had my notes. Like, I get why she had to do it, but Daisy should have lied to Mac. You should have lied. You shouldn't have told him that his daughter was dead in the real world. Like, it was over. Like, you were already going to have a hard enough time convincing him to begin with. But once you told him his daughter was dead in the real world, nah. He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it.
I got nothing.
He ain't doing it. Ain't
that
coming.
took me to move out, man.
Bruh, I don't even like.
It's a wrap. Like it's a wrap on Mac, man.
It goes back and again when he's explaining that Hope laughs at his jokes and she's real enough to him, and again you go back to the conversation that Ward had with Gemma about that. Mac basically says the same thing that Ward says to Gemma at that point. Like, that's real. The love he has for that little girl. You're saying it's not real, but it's real. Those feelings are real. It goes back to how Fitz reacted when he gets out of the framework and he sees all the things he's done. Like, Fitz isn't very, like, we talk about how Fitz felt about killing people. There's a very important thing there. Fitz says, I think I'm a bad person.
Yep.
Because I enjoy doing those things. Those are real feelings. He's going to have to deal with that. That goes back to, and again, when we didn't talk about it, with him, when Ada comes out and he calls her Ophelia. It's like, these are real feelings he's having there. You can't just go, oh no, that's just nothing, and just Oh,
that shit was digital.
Yeah.
No, you have to deal with the fallout.
Yo, this is literally the version of it's just Twitter. It's just Twitter. Nah, nigga, it's not. It's not just the digital world. This shit is real. Real things happen here. Yeah. You can't the feelings you have there. So again, just the way they handled that. And again, I think all of us knew. I remember the first when they went into the framework, your first thing was, Mac ain't coming out.
I said it, didn't I?
Because it's his daughter. Like, that's going to be the one that's the hardest one. Once we saw he had Hope there, it's like, it's a wrap. Like, how you get him out there. We'll see. I still believe at some point that he does come out, but I'm wondering if they bring him out by also bringing his daughter out. Like,
I think that the idea that we can get someone else out who doesn't have a body is a red herring. I think it's a way for them to screw with our hope.
Yeah.
I think that
screw with our hope.
Well, I didn't know that. Sorry. I think that I would not. Everyone is watching and saying maybe they'll bring back X. I don't expect them to.
I don't
because
either.
One of the big things that the Whedons do in their storytelling is they kind of
kill people.
I talked about this before. We talked about this before. It's the hunt for what makes a man, what makes a person a person. And Ophelia or Ada or whatever the hell is going to be our counterexample as to why you can't make something from nothing.
True.
And like it did in Dollhouse, it's literally Spike's entire arc in Buffy.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't believe Tripp and War. I mean, these are fun like fantasy bookings, right, if you will. They're not going to happen. Like I don't believe they come, especially the way they ended them. The way like you don't see Brett Dalton this episode.
I was saying we're not done with Ward. We're getting more Ward before the season's over because the last time we saw him, he had taken Mack to the police station.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get a more proper send off than that. That may have been the last time we see Tripp.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't seen the last award. We're going back in the framework because whether Mack gets out or not, I hope he does. I don't think he does. I hope he does. Whether Mack gets out or not, we're not done with Mack's story yet.
No, not at all. No, you're right. You're right. So maybe we'll see Ward again. But to be perfectly honest, like with everybody talking about who we can bring out of the framework into the real body, if there was going to be anybody that they do that with, I hope it's at the top of my list. Just from a logistic point of view, it's easier to bring the kid actor in. Just from a show point of view, than to bring in, having to bring in BJ Britt or Brett Dalton or something like that and have them, I mean, again, we get them for small cameos here and there, but I don't know. I feel like that would be easier to handle. Because again, if you bring Hope in, you don't even have Mack have her all the time. Bring Hope in. Hope can go live with her mom.
But just bring her back to the world.
You just bring her back to the world again. So that's my long shot. If they are able to bring somebody through, it'll be Hope. But yeah, man, it just the way they handle that all, it was just it was powerful. He packed it all in, and you know what? Again, the small subtle things they do. When Daisy comes through, the first person she sees, Yo-Yo.
Yep.
Yo-Yo's the first, because she's telling you, you have people, tell them you have people there who really miss you, who really care about you, who love you, and all this stuff. And again, this goes back to something we've seen, like we've talked about this with The Flash, and how sometimes the clunky they feel with their relationships. They did a good job of developing this Yo-Yo and Mack relationship to the point of us really not seeing it all the time. Like it's been sporadic. It's a little bit here and there, but we got enough of it that when Yo-Yo is looking at is the first face that Daisy sees when she comes out of the framework, you feel that pain. And they
crept up on us, but all of a sudden you figure, oh my, wait a second, I care about this.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah. I mean, they did a hell of a job with setting that up and feeding us that and knowing that we want that and seeing that and yeah, man, oof, so good. And then another thing that was really good is just the way that what do we call her now? She's got a human body. Do we call her Ophelia now? Do we still call her Ada? Because she's human, kinda, I guess.
Which makes her super dangerous. You know what, Chris? You know what she is?
Not Nightcrawler. She's not Nightcrawler.
Say what she is. Say what she is.
She's not human. Yeah.
No, say what she is.
She's a toaster.
She's inhuman.
She's inhuman. Yeah. Yeah.
She built herself as an inhuman.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, fuck, she did.
And heaven only knows that's the only human power she gave herself.
Oh God.
Like, that's the other thing is we don't know what suite of powers we're about to run into to try to get Fitz back.
Oh God, she just built herself into a super scroll.
Nigga, look.
Oh shit!
Like you don't even understand what you grasp here. Like I didn't know she could teleport. What else do you not know she can do?
Oh my God, she did that. I was like, oh my God. So on the Flash, we got not Iceman, and this week, and then on Agent Shield,
no, nigga, that was Iceman. I'm sorry.
We got Ice Woman.
That was Iceman,
right? And then we get Nightcrawler, Ada Nightcrawler on Agent of Shield. Like, holy shit, man! Like, Because I'm sitting there going like, okay, what is she going to do? I'm not going to lie. At first I was like, oh my God, she's going to kill Fitz. Or maybe Fitz will snap her neck. Or what's going to go on here?
I was like, oh, Fitz about to snap her fucking neck.
Right. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be great. Because and then she hugs him and she teleports. And I'm like, that's new.
One of my friends who was at the bachelor party with me texted me, because he watches on Wednesdays, because he knows I'm about to do the podcast. He said, well, when she teleported, I was by myself in my apartment and I audibly gasped.
Right.
He's like, I was all alone.
I didn't know she could do that. Yeah, not a good thing. This is all bad, all kinds of bad. Oh, also, shout out to Coulson, because I noticed this too, and I didn't catch it the first time. But he looks over at Mack still in the framework and goes, at least you had a shotgun axe, because he literally decapitates Ada's robot body with a scalpel.
You know what? I didn't really notice that, but you're 100% right.
Because I'm like, because the first time, because I heard him say, at least you had a shotgun. I was like, what do you, because he's going to kill, okay, whatever. But then I realized what he had in his hand. I was like, he literally has a scalpel, and he cut that robot's head off. Holy shit, Coulson. Like, I know she's not real, and no, that's the appropriate reaction. But he's just like, oh no, we got to take care of this shit. So, what do we have right now? We have a scalpel? I will make it work. I will make it work. Oh, man. All right, let's get through some of this. Tiara says, okay, so I got your email like right after we'd already started the show, so I'm going to read your Flash stuff right now, and then we'll get into the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. emails real quick. I was a bit underwhelmed with the big Savitar reveal because my main guess was that Savitar was Barry. I think we all kind of figured that. After we knew it wasn't Wally, I couldn't think of anyone else who would know everything about Team Flash and hate Barry so much. They would kill Iris just to hurt him. Yeah. I think the reveal would have been more effective if the story arc was shorter and we found out who Savitar was after one of the breaks. Yeah, probably. And like I said...
you know what? Alex 17, I disagree with that. If only because, like, I think this reveal wasn't like the Adrian Chase reveal, because this is more... Like we talked about last week, it's kind of like you all have to know at this point.
True.
They weren't going for shock factor. They weren't going for impact. Because once you've ID'd him as Barry, it's not like you're going to have him walking around the universe.
True. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you know what? I think it is, and again, I don't want to get too much into this because we covered this on the Flash review. Right. I think it goes back to the fact of the breaks mess this up. And then if you actually binge this season, not even binge, if you just watch it without the huge breaks they put in there, I think this reveal comes off better because, like I said, it's not supposed to be a shock value reveal because at this point everybody should have known. Right. Because I remember when they were going like nobody's guessed who Savitar is. Like, no, I don't agree with that. I think we all know. I listened to the Legend of Tomorrow recaps and I agree about doing the Rogue storyline on the Flash without Captain Cold. I don't know how the show pulls it off without him. Maybe with an alternate start. Yeah, I think somehow they find a way to bring Captain Cold back. They gotta do that. That's it for my Flash feedback. This season has been all right. I enjoyed it and I hope it finished on a strong note. Yeah, same here. Like I said, check out our Flash review. I think we say a lot of the same things on there. Now for the Asian stuff, that's up we're really here for. Man, with a lot of exclamation points after it. This show is the best comic book show, hands down. I feel so bad for Fitz. I hope S.H.I.E.L.D. has a good health coverage to help him pay for the infinite amount of therapy he's going to need after this is all over. What is their therapy plan? Because I think we as an audience might need it too. So I can see if he wouldn't want to continue his relationship with Gemma because of his guilt of killing so many people. Will Gemma want to? Yeah. See, this is where it gets tricky. Yeah. Fitz might not want to, but will Gemma want to carry on her relationship? I was hoping the show would use Ada's machine to break Tripp and Ward back Tripp and Ward, but that was wishful thinking. I'm glad we've got to see them again, though. I think Ghost Rider comes back to stop Ada once and for all. Excuse me, and I think Mack survives in the end. The season has been fun, and I think it's my favorite out of the four. Still, I'm going to do a rewatch from season 1 to remember how sweet everyone was. Sweet and everyone was, especially Fitz before things went to hell. I got to do that myself too. Because I got to go back and see just how innocent everything was in season 1. Like, man, that feels like ages ago. Wow.
Right.
Thanks for podcasting these shows for us. It's always great listening to you all every week. Best. All right. Let's see what else we got. Wanga sent something in. Good day, fellas, and good day to you, man. Thank you very much, because I know I don't know, you've written it to us before, but it's been a while, man. It was good hearing from you. It was good to hear.
Congrats to surviving your entire country trying to kill you.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. It's like it's always nice hearing from you, because it lets us know that Australia hasn't killed you yet. Another great episode. The Coulson line, this feels oddly familiar, was great. Thank you. I forgot about that. Like, Coulson always has some great lines, and that one, when he's literally bleeding out of his chest, going, this feels oddly familiar. I'm like, yeah. That and his, I prefer working in the shadows. Come on, bro.
Yo, vintage Coulson.
I got a feeling Mack might come back, because knowing it's not real will play on his mind, and Fitz freaking out and then dealing with what happened is going to need to be played out, like you guys have said. Also, where the hell did Ada go? Shit, where did Ada go with Fitz? And she's not Ada anymore. She's Ophelia. She's not Ada, because she's no longer artificial. A couple theories I've been thinking about in the lead up to the end of the season. I thought that a writer might return to take back the Darkhold, since it appeared to be taken from the basement of Johnny Blaze writer's house, and they knows how to guard it to get rid of it. Yeah, I think at some point we got to get the writers back. Sucks we might not have Tripp and Ward back. Tripp and Ward around after this arc, but they seem to remember what they were doing in the framework, and if Fitz built the machine, he might remember how to do it again and recreate bodies for people. The switch to the 3 arcs was a great idea. Have a good one, Wanga. Yeah, again, 3 arcs, man. That was a brilliant move. Brilliant move. I'm like, yes. Let's see. Fantasia says, I wonder what it feels like to intentionally destroy the souls of your fans every week. What sadistic, brilliant bastards. It's called being part of the Whedon family. So.
I thought you were talking about you.
Why would you talk about me? Like, wait a minute. You're the one that did the whole blame Depot thing.
That was Chris at Sandy Report on Twitter.
Yo, listen, the Mack thing was you. You blurred it. We can go roll 212. We can go back to the videotape on that one. You're the one that blurted out the Mack thing. I might have agreed with you, but
let's see what the email has to say.
Your Honor, I'm willing to turn state's evidence. I'm willing to testify against Depot.
That's what's wrong with y'all, you young bucks these days. Loyalty. Finish the email.
Oh man, Mack and Tripp's lines were funny. They did not just go and use the Bible against me. Damn, in this place you want to go back to. You can finish hugging me later. I'm telling you, man, Tripp. Man, it's so good to have Tripp back. Daisy telling Tripp that he could take the mantle of the Patriot before leaving. I love this. We all know that Tripp would be a worthy successor to Mace. Also, the show still reads the comic books. I have seen many people say why didn't Daisy just push Mack into the portal? I think it's because he would have hated her in the real world, and she knew that. It could have been that, but I think it's also just logistically, where Daisy, if you go back and watch it, where Daisy and Mack were, they weren't there where you can just push. They weren't near the edge. There was only one way to get into the portal, and that's where they were on the opposite side of where, not really opposite, like perpendicular to where Coulson and everybody else had gone into the framework. So there was no way for Daisy to drag Mack's big ass over the ledge, and also, can remember Daisy also needs to use her powers to keep the portal open. So I'm with you. I thought the same thing. I'm like, yo, just push it. I was like, oh wait. So again, the small details of how they dealt with this. They shot it so that they're not near the edge, so there's not a way you can just force Mack into the portal like Radcliffe did to Fitz. So you can't do it that way. And Daisy's the one that needs to hold the portal open to do it. So she can't both hold the portal open and also drag and push Mack in there at the same time. So, yeah, it kind of works. That's also why he probably shouldn't have gone last.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, but even then, the way they handled it, he kind of had to go last because one, he's over there with Daisy. Two, Coulson had been shot, so you're the person who probably could have convinced Mack to come in with them. They took him off the board early, and he had to go to the portal. He would have died. He's basically asking May to take a leap of faith to come with him. So then May goes, and May was never going to be able to convince Mack anyway because, as far as Mack knows and the framework knows, she's just a Hydra agent who threatened his daughter. So that's not going to happen there. Maybe Gemma, but there's no real relationship between Gemma and Mack there. And Gemma gotten shot. Fitz have already been jumped in, and with Fitz gone in, Gemma's definitely going next. So that leaves you just with two people. Leaves you with just Mack and Daisy. And Daisy, if at this point, the way they worked it out, if Daisy couldn't convince him in the framework, nobody else was. She's the one that had the closest relationship to him. His daughter looks up to Daisy. You know, we didn't talk about it. We had that funny moment where where they used different words for ass because Hope was gonna say that Daisy kicked a Madam Hydra's ass, and so they had a little moment there. So like Daisy is Hope's like hero. If anybody could convince Mack, it was gonna be Daisy. She couldn't do it. So yeah, the way they handled that was really brilliant, and I thought it again. Attention to detail, man. This show. And attention to detail is just too fucking good. And then let's see here. And I got one last one from Justin. Great show as always. I really enjoy what y'all are doing. Thank you very much. So Mack finna to die. I'm not ready, man. So you got 1 point in your corner there, Deep Arm. And Secret Empire is completed. Secret Empire is pure fire. I can't help but see the parallels between Agents of Hydra and Secret Empire. And man, it's so good. Yeah, there was a terrible Yahoo article that tried to say that the way Marvel is doing Agents of Hydra with Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is so much better than what's happening in Secret Empire. Again, we're going to do a Super Tuesday recap where we spoil some of... we go through spoilers on Nick Spencer's both runs on Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers, Captain America, and then go into like the 0 issue of Secret Empire and issue number 1 of Secret Empire. That Yahoo article was terrible because hell no. The books go there and are handling a lot of stuff here and are handling the Hydra thing really, really well. I think people who don't think that are just not reading it. So, but yeah, we're going to get into that. Hopefully we'll get Justin on and Deepalm will be there too. And we'll talk about some of this stuff. So yeah, I think that's everything. You got anything else you want to say about this episode?
No. I hate this show because it's too good, and I don't know. Yeah, and everyone who says that, oh, Inhumans, I'm worried. No worries. No.
Yeah.
No. This is not the time. In the words of Bane, now is not the time for fear. That comes later at 10 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. Because if you watch this show and you aren't afraid, you just don't. You're watching a different program.
You're not prepared. So, all right, folks, there you guys have it. A Super Tuesday recap for Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week. This is episode 20, I believe. Yes, episode 20. Find the rest of the reviews on mtrnetwork.net. Turn for Super Tuesday recap on iTunes. If you leave a 5-star review on there, we'll read it on air. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio, and I believe we're also for Super Tuesday recap. We're also on Google Music. So if you have an Android and you're using Google Music, you can find us another podcast on Google Music there. We are making an announcement now. I'm about 95% sure that on Friday at noon, the tickets for our live podcast on June 17th in Washington, D.C. at RFD will be going on sale on this Friday. So stay tuned. Follow us on all the social media, us, Black Eye Tips, Where's My 40 Acres. You know, everybody will all be letting you guys know when you guys can get the tickets for that show. They're only going to be 100 tickets, so they will sell out fast. So if you're planning on coming out there, you better get them quickly. And yeah, so we'll see what goes on with that. And I'm really confident that we'll be able to do that. And like I said, we saw this out, then next year or maybe even later on in the year, we'll just have to do a bigger venue somewhere else. And but the quicker we can do this, the more confidence we'll have in being able to do our own live events. So we'll figure that shit out. So yeah, and then again this weekend, hopefully we'll officially switch over the site. There'll be a new look for mtrnetwork.net. The links will be changing slowly after that to mtrnetwork.net. Hopefully everything will redirect. So if you still have old links, they should still work. But you start using mtrnetwork.net to go from there. So that's it, folks. And thank you guys very much. Until next time, we are out of here. Peace.